Welcome to Union Community Schools, a neighborhood hub of activities where school principals and staff, families, and community partners play the leading roles in doing whatever it takes to make each child successful. The model Union uses in association with the Tulsa Community Schools Initiative, or TACSI, involves a holistic philosophy. It's one that centers on the child and family, and it really works. How? Through strong leadership, purposeful relationships, and the ability to remove barriers.
I think what makes community schools a success and what makes it reach the unbelievable is that when we see one student is focusing in one area, we know that sometimes it can be attached to multiple other things.
Maybe they weren't able to sleep the night before because there was no air, heating or cooling. Another barrier just might be that they have moved and they're not able to get to school, and so transportation becomes a barrier for the children to come to school. Other barriers could be just the opportunity for enrichment because of not having the finances.
If the teachers see that something is needed, that they're having problems at home, if they're not getting enough food, they need supplies, clothes, I love that they just take care of that. Even they really get to know the child.
Teachers who are able to diversify their curriculum, either for the gifted student or the student who's lagging behind. Maybe they've just come into the country and they need a lot of extra support from that standpoint. We have teachers who can deal with all of that, can take all that into account and make every student successful.
A partnership with the University of Oklahoma enables Clark and Rosa Parks Elementaries to remove financial and logistical barriers to good health. Both schools have on-site clinics, which are convenient and affordable for parents, and have greatly reduced student absenteeism.
We started at Clark when we opened with 300 patients within the first 2 months. Now we're up over 4,000 at Clark and have expanded the clinic to another elementary school in the district who also sees over 4,000.
Former Boston Red Sox player Matt Hancock interned at Clark when he was a student at Oral Roberts University in Tulsa. Now he's a director of the Dickinson Family YMCA and one of Clark's more than 30 enthusiastic community partners. He facilitates before and after school enrichment and tutoring.
20% of Tulsa County ninth graders don't graduate high school, they drop out. And the YMCA, as well as the public schools, feels that they can fill that gap with providing kids the opportunity to excel, not just academically, but on a healthy lifestyles basis, so that they can have the opportunity to truly graduate and then go on to a post-secondary education.
Principal Teresa Kiger and staff have inspired the school's namesake, entertainer Roy Clark, to hold a star-studded concert benefiting the school's music program, and he visits whenever he can.
The principal had selected a few students to go on a trip with Roy Clark to play with him, and I was one of those few that got selected. So we drove in a little bus. We drove to the studio where he had started recording us play the guitar, and me and some other kids had played solos and all that. That was one of my favorite memories too.
Each community school has its own personality. Rosa Parks Global Gardens creates a culture of goodwill, peaceful conflict resolution, and an appreciation for nutrition and the environment.
It is just amazing to watch. I have seen children who are painfully shy, struggling academically, and they just blossom. And I think it's just the nature of the people that work in that program. They are so nurturing, and they cultivate these students, and they grow. The children decided that because there are so many opportunities to problem solve, they needed a peace table. Children could sit around and solve whatever issues they might be having. You know, we've taken that concept of the peace table and the garden, and every classroom now has an area that children can go and resolve conflicts.
Global Gardens was featured in a public service announcement starring HGTV's master gardener Paul James, And 2 recipes from Rosa Parks students appeared in First Lady Michelle Obama's A White House Garden Cookbook.
It's really about the leadership and the level of relationship that principal has in the community, that individual has with families, as well as that individual has with their community partners. And thus, as a community partner, me being a community partner, understanding that I'm here to help. I'm not just a building on the side of the road, but I'm an asset in your community. And Union Public Schools completely sees that in the YMCA, and the YMCA completely sees Union Public Schools as a fantastic part of our community.
Clark Elementary is considered one of the best in the country, having been named a National Community School of Excellence. Respected Harlem Children's Zone founder Jeffrey Canada was impressed with Union's program after visiting Clark and Rosa Parks.
You walk in here and you see young people who are excited, who are energized, teachers who are engaged and smiling. Everybody wants to be here, right? And so, there's real learning going on. And this is as good a model as I've seen across the country of what education has to become.
From the Birth to 3 home-based Head Start program and Union's Early Childhood Center to the Carrera Adolescent Project and the Union Collegiate Academy activities for middle and high school students, the Union Community Schools philosophy is working at every grade level. And ultimately, it's working for the country.
And this model really does provide meaningful supports, not only to improve student success on test scores, but beyond that, to really help the overall success of the child, help the family, and ultimately improve the viability of the neighborhood in which the school is situated. So I'm excited for community schools beyond it as a school improvement strategy, but as a way of really increasing the viability of an entire community.